Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday the 14th of March 2025. In today's Millwall news, we finally have more details about the Liam Roberts situation, and it doesn't look good for Crystal Palace. They've come out looking like snivelling little rats. So let's have a little look at this. Here we go. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. FA explain written reasons for Liam Roberts' extended ban following Millwall keeper's red card and Crystal Palace FA Cup clash. Crystal Palace accused Liam Roberts of injuring Jean-Philippe Mateta with the most extreme and violent force during the FA Cup 3-1 win over Millwall. Roberts was sent off by referee Michael Oliver after 8 minutes at Selhurst Park following a VAR review showed the goalkeeper clattering into Mateta outside of the box. The striker was given oxygen before being taken to hospital. It was later revealed that the Frenchman needed 25 stitches for a severe laceration to his left ear. Roberts' 3-match ban was later extended to 6 games. In the Football Association's written reasons in relation to Roberts' ban, Palace's letter read, Liam Roberts left his box and propelled himself and his boots at the head of JMP, striking his head viciously with a high boot. JMP is 6'4" tall. He was almost at full height at the point of contact. Liam Roberts' boot must have been between 6 foot and 6'4" in the air. Liam Roberts was fully aware of Jean-Philippe Mateta, had time to pull out of the challenge, but he proceeded with the most extreme and violent force he could possibly have mustered. It is Crystal Palace's position that a harsher sanction must be handed down. Crystal Palace expect that a clear and unequivocal signal is sent that this cannot and must not happen again. Roberts reached out to Mateta on the same day. He told the commission, we'll get into that actually, because they give that. Because what you're seeing here is a story written by the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk, about the written reasons. So you can go to the source. You can find it out for yourself. We're gonna take a look at it now. Right here, right now. But before we do that, I'm going to tell you how you can find it for yourself. So you go to the FA website, which looks like this. You go to rules and regulations. You go, rules and regulations. You go to discipline. You go to written reasons. You click on that, and this will come up. And then you search for Millwall, and you get a full list of all our naughty things that have happened over the years. But you want the one at the top, Liam Roberts. Okay. Didn't get a fine. None. It's got a 6-match ban. So you click on that. You click on the PDF. How do you print the PDF? I don't know. It is what it is. But you click on that. It downloads. You click, and then you got to click on the thing and to get it up and all that stuff to open it. And here we go. So this is it. It's 11 pages. So strap yourselves in. Football Association Regulatory Commission in the matter of clearly insufficient punishment claim brought by the FA against Liam Roberts of Millwall FC. Okay. And this was held on Friday, the 7th of March 2025, via Microsoft Teams video conference. So it was online, it wasn't even in person. Because why would we do that? The commission members were Mr. Stuart Ripley, who I believe is that Stuart Ripley of Blackburn Rovers. I believe that's him. And then Udo Onowere, and Mr. Ray Olivier, who I think it sounds familiar. May have been a referee, I'm not too sure. I think that Udo may be a non-league player, I don't know. But all three of whom are independent football panel members of the FA Judicial Panel. Mr. Paddy McCormack of the FA Judicial Services Department acted as secretary to the commission. The following is a summary of the principal submissions and evidence provided to the Commission. It does not purport to contain reference to all points made. However, the absence in these reasons of any particular point or submission should not imply that the Commission did not take such point or submission into consideration when the members determined the matter. For the avoidance of doubt, the Commission has carefully considered all the evidence and materials furnished with regard to this case. And then they do a bit of rules and regulations relevant to the claim. What happens? Why is this claim being made? well, it's because of this rule and this law, regulation 20.2 of section 1 of part D, etc. All this stuff, fast track 6, the FA can make an insufficient punishment claim for serious foul play, violent conduct, or spitting. Liam Roberts was dismissed for serious foul play, so that's why this commission can exist. And this is what they need to regard, all of this stuff here, so yada yada yada, Background to the claim. The incident took place during Crystal Palace versus Millwall in the FA Cup 5th round fixture on Saturday the 1st of March 2025. Following a challenge, 6 minute, we know all this stuff. From the match report by the referee, I have to report that I, as the referee, sent off Liam Joseph Roberts of Millwall FC under Law 12, Section S1. And then the FA, by letter addressed to Liam Roberts at Millwall, dated the 4th of March, brought a claim following a sending off where the standard punishment is clearly insufficient. The claim by the FA read it as claim that your actions in or around the 6th minute, whereby you commit the sending off offence of serious foul play, are such that the standard punishment otherwise applicable to that sending off offence is clearly insufficient. The FA relied on the following evidence: dismissal report by the match referee, a letter from Crystal Palace to the FA. And we'll have a look at that in a minute, because that is absolutely disgusting. Video clips of the incident and photograph of the incident. Why would you need photographs of the incident if you have video clips of the incident? Don't understand that. But hey, yeah. By way of the FA's understood that the claim would be dealt with by way of a paper hearing. The paper hearing took place via Microsoft Teams on Friday the 7th of March 2025. That date is important. Please remember that date, because we'll get into that in a minute. Documentation submitted by the FA, the Crystal Palace letter. The observations were sought by the FA from Crystal Palace. So the FA went to Crystal Palace and said, so who's Arthur and who's Martha? Who's the one stitching us up? Is it the FA or is it Crystal Palace, or is it them? Are they working together? Crystal Palace responded with a letter dated the 3rd of March. Attached to the Crystal Palace letter at Appendix A was a medical update from a medical member of staff within Crystal Palace. In summary, this is what Crystal Palace did. And so, Liam, this is what Crystal Palace wrote in their letter. It's been summarised in points A to M. Liam Roberts left his box and propelled himself in his boot at the head, so the part of it's quoted. Head of JMP, striking his head viciously with a high boot. JMP is 6'4" tall, and he was almost at full height at the point of contact. Liam Roberts' boot must have been between 6 foot and 6'4" in the air. Liam Roberts was fully aware of JMP, had time to pull out of the challenge, but proceeded with the most extreme and violent force he could possibly have mustered. And then God knows what else they said, that because it's been redacted, so it's not public. Because obviously, I've just shown you the website. Everyone, they know it's going to get published. So what the hell have they written here? What have they written? And then we have to. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections blanked out. Then we got this, and then we got another 2 sections blanked out. It's unclear how long JMP will be unable to play, but distressingly for him, he is likely to miss his first international call-up for the France versus Croatia fixture, due to take place on the 20th and 23rd of March. Yeah, I don't think he'll be. That's a Nations League playoff, is it not? I don't think he'll be, because it's first and second leg, so he would have been on the bench. They wouldn't have started him in such a big game. It is Crystal Palace's position that a Horse of Shanks who must be handed down. That's in quotes. Crystal Palace expect that a clear and unequivocal, that word again, signal is sent that this cannot and must not happen again. The view expressed in L above is supported by the media and public analysis of the challenge. Crystal Palace quoted 5 well-known media personalities who had publicly commented on the incident. Yeah, the scumbags in the press, the Mail Online, who got banned from the Den. So there you go. Again, who's Hartha and who's Martha? Who's pushing this? The Crystal Palace are working with these guys at the Mail Online, telling them and asking them to do this, so then they can go to the FA with the quotes, say, look what they said. Look what it's called. I think they call it media washing. It's something that kind of leftist scumbags do in America. You'll get these pseudo media outlets publishing stories that then can be put on Wikipedia as a source, and then that becomes a fact when it's just argumentative nonsense. But attached to Appendix A, I don't think we'd get that. Of Crystal Palace's submissions with a detailed description of the medical attention and treatment administered to JPM, a still photograph of the collision with the image showing the moment immediately after Liam Roberts made contact with the head of JPM was also attached. So they attached a photograph that we've all seen, the famous one, where he's at, where the point of, what we call it, point of impact. Just to like put the cherry on top, saying, "Oh look how bad it is," when that would have lasted about 0.25 seconds. The FA submissions, so that above was just from Crystal Palace. The FA themselves, the FA submitted a document entitled Claim by the FA, Standard Punishment Clearly Insufficient. Paragraph 6 to 12 of the document set out the regulatory framework applicable to the claim. Paragraphs 13 to 22 set out the FA's submissions on the matter. In summary, the FA stated inter alia the following. The video footage furnished to Commission is extremely compelling evidence in support of this claim. Liam Roberts' decision to jump towards JMP with both feet off the ground was an exceptionally reckless and dangerous one. Liam Roberts' decisions and actions meant that his boot was inevitably going to come in contact with JMP's face or head in a fashion that would risk serious injury to JPM. The degree of recklessness exhibited was truly exceptional. Challenges of this nature are scarcely encountered. The fact that Liam Roberts is a goalkeeper is irrelevant, and the challenge should be viewed in the same way as if Liam Roberts was an outfield player. False. Do you know Peter Cech? You know Peter Cech got his head fucking smashed in. Do you know he had to wear that silly hat for the rest of his career because he broke his skull? Goalkeepers have been seriously injured in this game. By jumping up with their hands and then getting kicked in the head. So you cannot say, "Oh, the goalkeepers, we should be treating him as an outfield player." No. The inherent force and danger involved in Liam Roberts' actions are obvious, and such an act is clearly out of the parameters anticipated when legislating standard penalties for serious foul play. The media attention and commentary of the incident is indicative of its startling nature. It's plainly in the wider interest of football for players to know that such highly reckless actions will have severe consequences, and the FA invited the Commission to uphold the claim, set aside the standard penalty, and pose a penalty well in excess of the standard penalty of 3 matches. So again, they're saying, "Oh look, because we told the media to attack this player, and they did because they wanted the clicks, because, it's Millwall, Millwall's a name, Millwall's a brand, biggest small club in the world, people are going to click on that. Oh my God, what have these nasty Millwall done now? What have they done? Okay, here's the thing, let's click on this and see what they've done." So because we had the trial by media, it's that confirms what we could claim, because we whipped up this outrage. Like, what are you talking about? Documentation submitted by and on behalf of Liam Roberts. Statement from Mr. Liam Roberts. Liam Roberts submitted a signed statement in which, inter alia, he stated the following. So obviously they haven't published the statements, they've just kind of summarised it. Liam Roberts acknowledged that my challenge for the ball was unacceptable and that a red card was deserved. That he immediately sought to apologise to Mr. Mateta and can only apologise to him again. He wished to emphasise that although reckless, my actions were in no way deliberate, exactly, and that he would never set out to deliberately commit a foul like this. Of course, no one in their right mind thinks that was deliberate. Only Wallies at Crystal Palace do. Liam Roberts went on, "I have made a mistake in a fraction of a second with terrible consequences for Mr. Mateta, and I deeply regret that. He was extremely committed to winning the ball, and the decision to use my feet rather than my head was an instinctual one. I would never make this kind of challenge intentionally. Liam Roberts stated unexpectedly, the ball checked and bounced higher than I had anticipated. This meant that I had to come further to win the challenge than I had initially expected. Even so, I thought there was time for me to get the ball and win the challenge cleanly. However, at the last second, Mateta and Cooper came into contact, and Mateta was bumped more directly into my path. By this time, I had committed to the challenge and had no opportunity to adjust my body position or alter my approach. Exactly what I said at the time. Mateta wasn't even looking towards Liam Roberts because he looked towards sideways to his left, and he bashed into Cooper. They didn't come together. They did not come together. Mateta shoulder barged Cooper out of the way, and he was looking at Cooper instead of the ball and instead of Liam Roberts that was booming down upon him, and he should have paid more attention. And another thing is, this is covering up for the ball. So many people have been complaining about that mitre ball that they've been using in the FA Cup. The Premier League players, now the Championship players, so they're saying it's not acting right, it's not acting properly, it's bouncing weird. And now we know, this was caused by the ball. It was caused by the ball not acting properly, which a number of players have mentioned. They're not happy with the balls. I think Arteta complains about everything, doesn't he? But even he was bringing it up. Liam Roberts stated, although I don't accept that the standard punishment is insufficient, I accept that the challenge was reckless and that the sending off was justified. Again, I am very sorry. So mea culpa. So he's saying, he said the challenge was reckless. So he's not saying, so he didn't say it was an accidental. He said, oh look, yeah, it was a bit, probably shouldn't have done that, So he didn't say, "Oh, it's just one of those things." He's saying, "Yeah, I was a bit Looney Tunes, but it wasn't. I didn't deliberately kick the guy in the head." In respect to the period after the incident, Liam Roberts went on, I was instantly devastated by the incident. I could see that Mateta was injured and receiving treatment. My immediate concern was for him. As for the first half of the match preceding his absence, Liam Roberts received a text from his wife asking if he was okay. He replied at 12:39, I'm just guilty, I hope the goes okay. And his first thought was to express concern for Mr. Mateta. Liam Roberts said that he obtained Mateta's phone number later that day at 7 o'clock. He sent Mateta a WhatsApp message, which has been blanked out, and then he received a reply at 10:47, and that's been blanked out. So can you imagine, though? You send someone a message and you think, oh God, how's this going to be received? And then you wait, 4 hours for a reply? Can you imagine what he's thinking, like? Especially if he can see that it's been read, left on red. So obviously, maybe Mateta's like, what's this number? Is this a real number? Is it fake? See, you've probably got to check these things that they're real, that they're actually who they say they are. There's a lot of wallies out there. So maybe he was just doing that, but waiting 4 hours. Oh, man. With regard to the fallout from the incident, Liam Roberts said that I began receiving some awful abuse to the extent that I have now had to delete my Twitter account. I've asked Millwall to shield me from the worst of this, but I understand that certain sections of the press have published numerous articles about the incident and suggested that I acted deliberately. Distressingly, even my wife has received online abuse. Yes, that is why the Daily Mail have been banned. Absolute scumbags. Liam Roberts recounts that the abuse and knowledge that he caused harm to another professional has had a real impact on my mental well-being. Submissions on behalf of Liam Roberts. Submissions will be made on behalf of Liam Roberts. In summary, inter alia, the following points were made. Contrary to the FA submissions, the hyperbole of the Crystal Palace and certain media commentary, this is not a case where the standard punishment is clearly insufficient and there are significant mitigating factors at play, as in it was accidental. So it was reckless in a way, and Liam Roberts admitted that, but it was an accident. The hyperbole with the Crystal Palace letter does not assist the Commission in assessing the evidence in an unemotional, rational and impartial manner, as the vast majority of the Crystal Palace letter must be treated with considerable caution as an exaggerated and partial account of the events. The FA's reliance on the Crystal Palace letter is therefore somewhat troubling. So again, who wrote that? Because whoever wrote that, man, you're a genius. You are Einstein. You've hit the nail on the head there. In quotes, the vast majority of the Crystal Palace letter must be treated with considerable caution as an exaggerated and partial account of events, and the FA's reliance on the Crystal Palace letter is therefore somewhat troubling. Yes, exactly. The general principles of Fast Track 6 state the ability to claim is provided only so exceptional cases may be rectified, and it is envisaged that in the majority of dismissals, the standard punishment will be appropriate when applied. So exactly, the Commission should be concerned with whether the facts of the case are truly exceptional, and that is a high bar. So by they need to ascertain whether it is truly exceptional. Where it is decided that circumstances are indeed truly exceptional, second high bar must be reached, such the Commission consider the standard punishment to be clearly insufficient. The IFAB definition of serious foul play, yada yada yada. A high boot is not per se a sending off offence. Such conduct becomes reckless when there is a risk that a player's high boot comes in contact with the opposition, and a player continues his course of action despite that risk. The degree of recklessness increases with the likelihood of contact. It was accepted that a challenge might cross the threshold of being truly exceptional, where there was an inevitability of boot-to-face contact, and a player simply continued on with a challenge such as this one. However, in this case, it was not, as submitted by the FA, inevitable that Liam Roberts' boot would come into contact. So exactly, they say. So let's unpack that. However, in this case, it was not, as submitted by the FA, inevitable. So they're saying the FA is not telling the truth. They're saying that, that's not the case. This was because at the last moment, JP had leaned in left shoulder to shoulder against the Mill defender Cooper, and then had been propelled a significant distance. So it was, like I said, it was accidental. And then someone's submitted a series of still images to show how, it was here, and then it was here, and then he did this, and then he'd shoulder barge, and then this happened. Liam Roberts' actions ought not to be assessed as an outfield player. Exactly. It is accepted that the level of force involved in the incident was high. That was in part due to the speed of the incident and the fact that players were moving in opposite directions. But Mateta was off balance, and the fact that he was knocked to the ground does not indicate the amount of force used was uniquely high. So it wasn't that Liam Roberts hit him so hard he fell to the ground. It's because Mateta was off balance, so that any kind of touch would knock him to the ground. Furthermore, where players collide having been running in opposite directions, a high degree of force is such a situation is not uncommon. It is accepted that Mateta suffered a serious injury, but his injury is not as extensive has been. So here we go. Look at this. I'm reading all this stuff, and this, they seem to be agreeing that. So how the hell did they give him 3 extra games? It is accepted that Mateta suffered a serious injury, but his injuries, and this is in quotes, were not as extensive as has been implied by the Crystal Palace letter and in the media. Were not as extensive as has been implied by Crystal Palace and the media. As in, they are fucking lying. They are lying. So they've said that it is accepted, but so they know that they're lying. They've said that they're lying. But how has he still been given the 3 extra fucking games? For emphasis, this submission is not intended to detract from the seriousness of the injury suffered, but is made as caution to the Commission against the dangers of reliance on comments in the media and by Crystal Palace. The precautionary actions taken by Crystal Palace medical staff are laudable, but they do not represent evidence of additional injury. So again, we don't have. They said there was an appendix made by Crystal Palace medical staff. We don't have that. I don't think it's at the end. So what did they write? They probably made up even more fucking lies, saying, he was, it was like Bugs Bunny where he saw the things going around. He's like Tweety Pie. You've seen Tweety Pies flying around his head. Like, what the fuck did they say in that medical report? They probably like overcooked it, and everyone's looking at him like, you're clearly full of shit. It is correct to say that incidents of this nature are rare, but rarity of an incident, however, does not equate to being truly exceptional. So again, that's true as well. 2 other high boot incidents were drawn to the Commission's attention, accompanied by 2 still images, in particular Sadio Mane's challenge on Edison during the 2017 Liverpool game, and the challenge made by Oscar Stupitan on Cresswell in 2022. And then there's a character reference from Andy Marshall, Mill's goalkeeping coach, which is not published, but I'm sure that's a rosy read. Now, here we get to the decision. So we've just heard that they've agreed that Crystal Palace are full of shit and that they were overcooking the problems with Mateta. Decision by the Commission. The Commission thanks the parties for their helpful submissions. In respect to the Crystal Palace letter, it should be noted that the individual members of the Commission are sufficiently experienced in such matters so as to recognise that, quite understandably, the Crystal Palace letter may have been intensely drafted with deep concern for the welfare of Mateta in mind, whilst noting that the contents of the letter, the parties can rest assured that the Commission came to its own conclusion, having reviewed only relevant evidence in an unemotional, rational and impartial manner. Man, what does that say? They're saying your letter's full of shit. The Commission viewed the available footage of the incident on numerous occasions and carefully noted the written submissions from the FA and Liam Roberts with regulatory framework in mind. The Commission agreed that the FA's use of the word inevitable in respect to the boot-to-face contact was not appropriate. So again, how has he been given 3 games? Extra games? They've said Crystal Palace are lying. They've said the FA are lying. Let's find out. There were, as pointed out by Liam Roberts, a number of factors at play as the incident unfolded, including spin on the ball, the angles, speed, the movement of the players, and the contact lateral shift between JPM and Mr. Cooper. Mr. Jake Cooper. That said, the Commission felt that, although not quite inevitable, there was an extremely high possibility and risk that Liam Roberts' actions in the circumstances would lead to JMP being kicked, studs leading into the head, as of course in fact it did. Notwithstanding the above, the Commission members were unanimous in their opinions that Liam Roberts had in no way intended to injure JPM in the way that he did. Liam Roberts made his decisions and actions in the heat of an FA Cup tie in split seconds. He made a major mistake in acting so recklessly, but he had no intention of hurting JPM. With intent ruled out by the Commission, this case was primarily, but not exclusively, an analysis of whether or not Liam Roberts has acted so recklessly that his actions could be considered as having been truly exceptional, such as the standard punishment of a 3-match suspension is clearly insufficient. This, as pointed out by Liam Roberts, a high bar. Having considered all the factors set out in the regulations, the Commission members were unanimous in their opinion that the manner by which Liam Roberts made the challenge that injured Mateta was so reckless in nature that it reached that high bar and was truly exceptional, such that the Commission was sure that the application of the standard punishment for this particular dismissal would be clearly insufficient. How? Man, come on. They literally said the FA's lying, Crystal Palace are lying, the medical staff at Palace are lying. And then they've said, oh yeah, it was an accident. It wasn't intentional, but even though we're gonna uphold it. And in coming to its decision, the Commission noted the following. Liam Roberts is an experienced goalkeeper, both in age and appearances. The scenario of a goalkeeper leaving his penalty area to sweep up a through ball before a forward latches onto the pass is not an unusual one, and one that Liam Roberts would have encountered many times during his goalkeeping career. Regardless of whether Mateta was bumped into the... No, he bumped fucking Cooper into the path of Liam Roberts. It would have been obvious to Liam Roberts that it would be fractional in terms of time and distance as to whether or not he or Mateta would get to the ball first, and the likelihood of a collision at speed was, if not inevitable, highly probable. When the ball popped up, in quotes, due to spin on the pass, it is arguable that Liam Roberts could have readjusted and not gone into the challenge at all. He didn't. Liam Roberts chose to go in the challenge at tremendous speed and with extreme force, with his leading boot around 6 foot high, stud showing. At the moment he made contact with JPM's head, Liam Roberts' leading leg was close to straight. There appeared to the Commission no retraction of the leading boot to mitigate the contact with JPM. If anything, Liam Roberts appeared to drive the boot forward. Having caught JPM on the here, Liam Roberts followed through into the body of JPM with his trailing knee leg, knocking him to the ground. Well, you've got to be committed, didn't you? In doing so, Liam Roberts' recklessness was of such a high degree that it exposed JPM to an unacceptable high risk of serious injury. Whilst contact and subsequent injury sustained by JPM are without doubt extremely serious, we've got a redaction here. What's that about? The Commission were of the view that challenges of this extreme nature inherently carry with them an unacceptable high risk, and the injury to the recipient could be far more serious than sustained. It's accepted by Liam Roberts that incidents such as this one are rare. There are only 2 incidents that were drawn to the Commission's attention in the previous 7 to 8 years. Although furnished with still images, the Commission will not furnish any video footage of these incidents to make any worthwhile comparisons. Whilst not necessarily relevant to the decision in respect to the incident being truly exceptional, the Commission noted that the match was delayed for 8 minutes while JPM received on-field treatment. It is distressing to both players and spectators to see a player badly injured, and the Crystal Palace have lost their informed striker for an extended period of time. That's not true, and we'll get into that in a minute. In addition, JPM has missed out on his first international goal. The Commission, whilst aware that the application of consistent punishments for similar offences is an important consideration, no doubt similar incidents have occurred in the past and will occur in the future, felt that Liam Roberts' challenge in terms of speed, force and actions was so extreme, its recklessness and brutality, that it ought to be categorised as being truly exceptional, such that the standard penalty is clearly insufficient. The FA's claim was therefore deemed to be successful. As such, the Commission turned its mind to what appropriate sanction for the offence would be. The Commission noted that the apologies and contrition of Liam Roberts hope that the media and wider public will acknowledge that Liam Roberts made an unintentional mistake for which he is clearly apologetic. Pursuant to Regulation 11.5 and deciding on the appropriate punishment, the Commission gave consideration to those factors listed before. Having set aside the standard punishment, taking into consideration the truly exceptional circumstances of Liam Roberts' challenge and the factors discussed above, the Commission were unanimous that an appropriate sanction for this offence would be that Liam Roberts is suspended from playing until such a time as Millwall have completed 6 first-team matches. So now we get... So, obviously, we were looking the other day because he played for the under-21s. It's like, well, so they only suspended him for first-team matches. And they could have suspended him from all football-related action. They could have suspended him from training, which they did for Hive and Tony. But they didn't do that. Pursuant to the relevant regulations, this decision of the Regulatory Commission is final and not open to appeal. So there you go. And that was dated the 9th of March, but that's the date of the letter, not the date of the meeting. The date of the meeting, remember, is the 7th of March. So there you go. That was a long old read you did. Are you still here? You still watching? You falling asleep? Wake up! Wake up! So, I'm now going to share with you a very disturbing picture. So please be advised, if you are a bit squeamish and you're not used to seeing some bad stuff, maybe, prepare yourselves for this. So this is from the sun.co.uk. Someone took a picture of Mateta because he came back to Crystal Palace training. Obviously in the gym, he's not good enough, he's not fit enough to be out on the pitch, but they actually took a picture of his horrible injury that he suffered in the game, and we're going to show you it, yeah. So prepare yourself because I'm going to go down. Are you ready for this? Not that. Are you ready? So this was on the field. You can see the blood. You can see his ear, the top of his ear. So where's the blood coming from? It's coming from the bottom of his ear. I think from where his earlobe meets his face, so kind of that section. I know if you ever pulled on your ear, there's like a bit of a stretchy skin that goes there, right? So So it's coming up now. So please prepare yourself for what you're about to see. Oh my God! Can you see it? Can you see it? Maybe zoom in. Yeah, that is his injury. That little white thing is a plaster where his ear meets his face. That's his injury. That's 25 stitches there. Or you know how they do it, where they do stitches and then they put tape over it. That's it there. That is his injury. So they lied. They're full of shit. They fucking lied. Crystal Palace are scumbag liars. Confirmed. The 27-year-old has kept a low profile since the injury. Well, no fucking shit. But in a photo widely shared on social media, the striker was seen donning a black headband and plaster on his left earlobe. And then I don't know what this line means. Mateta being snapped back with the Palace team suggests he could be on the verge of returning to action. Okay. So there you go. They were clearly lying. They're full of shit. Along with the Daily Mail. And I want to show you this. I've shown you this. I mentioned this before. Yeah, I brought it up in a video before. This is from bbc.co.uk. It's from the 7th of March. You can just see there, right in the corner, 7th of March. Now, do you remember about the date of the hearing? That was on the 7th of March. I seem to recall that this was published in the late afternoon. They waited until the hearing was conducted to provide an update on Mateta because they were lying through their fucking teeth, and they waited until the commission had come to the decision to agree to suspend Liam Roberts for further. And this is what they put out. Palace boss Glasner says Mateta is recovering well after being carried off with a head injury. Again, head injury, ear injury, a cut on your ear. French striker needed 25 stitches. I thought it was 27 stitches after being kicked in the head. Here, kicked in the ear. Mateta will miss Saturday's Premier League game against Ipswich, but Glasner hopes he'll be available to play after the international break, during which Palace will have a warm weather training camp in Spain. Glasner said, Mateta's doing well. He's at home recovering well. He had no fractures or concussion, and healing from the huge wound is going as expected. The huge wound. Does the word huge mean something else in French? Maybe this guy needs more fucking English lessons. He will go to Marbella with us next week, and he will just be training individually. If everything goes how we wish, he will be available against Fulham on the 29th of March. So he's missed one game. He missed one game, and it's against the worst team in the league, Ipswich, which I believe they won. I didn't follow their fucking results. I don't care. So here we go. So the first 35 minutes of the video just mentioned what a morally bankrupt scumbag club Crystal Palace are. Absolutely fucking disgusting. How dare you? How dare you? Now, moving on to this from millfc.co.uk. Millwall Football Club submit annual report and financial statements. Millwall Football Club has today, the 14th of March 2025, submitted to Companies House its annual report and financial statements for the 12-month period ended 30th of June 2024. That's a long time in terms of... So this is the statement that they put out. So it's not available on the Companies House website yet. I'd imagine... usually takes like 5 to 7 days to get put up on the website, I imagine. But when it does, I will show you. So this is from ended June 2024. So this is last summer. And we're now nearly like a year on now. And is this normal to publish your account so late? Yeah, so this is from June 2023 to June 2024. And like it says here, it reflects the 23-24 championship season. And we're now in the 24-25 season that's nearly finished. The club recorded a loss of £19.1 million for the year ended 30th of June 2024. Revenue for the year increased by 11% from 19.4 million to 21.4 million, with total matchday revenue increasing by 21% Obviously, this was the season where we had the record attendances at the Den, which, that's kind of bubbled off now because the Sky Sports Plus was launched. But we had insane crowds at the club. It increased from 6.2 to 7.5 million, with central income increasing by 8% and commercial revenue remaining largely static. Total staff costs of 25.6 million, so that includes, I say staff, that means the players and the staff as well, represent a 13% increase over the prior year, reflecting the continued investment both into the playing squad as well as being driven by changes in football management and club leadership during the year. So basically they had to pay off managers and bring new managers in. 23-24 saw an increase of £1.9 million expenditure in line with greater business activity, a 25% rise on the 22-23 campaign. Chestnut Hill Ventures LLC, the club's majority shareholder, has continued to provide operating monies to the club over the course of the year, providing total injections of £19.4 million during the year, an increase on the £16.9 million provided in the previous season. Commenting on the financial results, the club's managing director Mark Fairbrother noted, the results highlight the significant financial challenge the club faces competing in the EFL Championship and the financial imbalance that exists within the league. The Berylson family continues to provide critical operating money to the club, and everybody associated with Millwall Football Club is thankful and appreciative of their incredible support. We've set out the club's long-term plan around financial sustainability, which is focused around 3 key pillars: through growing a self-sustainable football investment model as part of a continuous on-the-pitch development, to grow club revenues and efficiencies within its business operations, and thirdly, to drive new income streams through the wider stadium and land development. The achievement of these will help us to achieve longer-term ambitions on the pitch whilst ensuring a financially sustainable future for the club. The club remains committed to complying with the EFL's profit and sustainability rules, and it welcomes the latest news of the potential introduction of the Football Governance Bill this summer to help drive structural change within the football pyramid. The full report will be available for public viewing week commencing 17th of March. So yeah, like I said, next week. So, which I believe, be on Company's House website, and I think there's also the club also have another website, Mill Investment or something, a company website that they have, even though they're a private company now. So yeah, we wait to have a look at that, because last one was very interesting. I mentioned it on the thing. It mentioned about how much money Kavanagh was being paid, and various other stuff. Very, very interesting indeed. So thank you, James Berylson. Thank you, John Berylson. Thank you for the Berylson family. Thank you so much, because wow, we made more money and we lost more money. The amount of money we were brought in is going up, but then the amount of money that we're losing is going up as well. It's like you can't win. Now moving on to this. This is from This is blog.transferroom.com. I think it's some kind of company that facilitates international transfers in a way. They're not an agency. They're just like, what would you say that they're like Tinder, I guess, for like football clubs, I guess. Because obviously, I don't know if you've seen it. If you've ever been online, you go to Mill's posts on social media, there's always some African kid underneath saying, "I am very good footballer. I want to come to play for England. Please, how can I how can I come to Millwall to play?" And it's like, it's either spam or it's very like sincerely some African kid who wants to come and be a professional footballer. But that's not how it works, my man. That's not how it works. That did happen to Millwall though. I don't know if you know the story of Casey Keller. Apparently, he turned up at the club and said, "Yeah, I'm like a goalkeeper in the college in the USA. Can I have a trial?" Like, so back in the day, that shit used to happen all the time. But these days, everybody knows everybody. They know, oh, have you heard about this guy? Oh, this guy. Have you heard about this guy? This guy in this club. Oh, yeah, we've heard about him. So everyone knows everyone, especially like Football Manager and stuff like that. So we get a little look behind what's been going on and what's happening, which may or may not be of interest to you. Mill's record signings and head coach hire through TransferRoom. So yeah, apparently the way they hired Alex Neil was through TransferRoom. But although we were told Alex Neil applied for the job. So did he apply for the job and then they used this software to figure out that? I don't know if they use AI, but you would imagine that kind of thing is going to be more and more used. I've used AI, and to be honest, the one obviously the AI that you can get if you're a member of the public is like fucking dog shit. To be honest, you have to pay. Like, you get the free ones that you get on the search engines they're basically just search engines, but automatic. It's rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish. But I think when they mean AI, they mean apparently you pay credits and stuff. And then you can get it to do stuff if you pay credits to it or something. I don't know. I don't use it. But apparently that's the proper AI that you can use. And it can do stuff. And the ones that can make pictures and stuff, stuff like that. But, I'm not impressed with the ones on Google and other stuff, Bing and whatever. So, let's have a look. So we've got a quote from Steve Gallen. There's always a long way in getting deals over the line, but having that starting point of TransferRoom is vital. It's a very good place to start because you could waste time. And I could find out about a player, think he's good, and go and watch him a few times and spend a lot of time and money before the club says he isn't for sale or he's too expensive. So it actually saves a lot of legwork early in the process. So obviously, buying and selling. There are players who want to move. There are clubs that want to sell these players. We want to sell players. We wanted to sell Romain Esse. We're probably going to sell Bangor Williams and other players. Ivanovic, certainly Ivanovic, we want to sell him. We want to make money. That's how it works. So if we say, okay, we were listening to offers for this player, and that's kind of what they're talking about. Providing the platform for record transfers, competing against the financial power of the promotion challenges and recent Premier League teams in England's Championship is a tall order for clubs like Millwall, who have not yet competed in the Premier League. Okay. That means they have to do things differently and be smart in the way they identify, scout, and recruit talent. And that is exactly what Millwall are doing with the help of TransferRoom. Their total squad value is 43 million. Is it? How? The 8th lowest in the Championship, while leaders Leeds United coming at 203 million. But they're consistently overachieving and now competing for a place in the top half of the table, having finished 8th and 13th respectively in the 22-23 and 23-24 campaigns. Millwall are one of over 800 clubs on TransferRoom, football's only transfer marketplace. So it's like Temu for footballers. Through the online platform and in-person events held in key locations worldwide each year, they get direct access to club decision makers and over 550 trusted agencies, as well as real-time market information such as player availability, club requirements, and in-depth data intelligence on player performance statistics. And both the platform and events made a big impact with Mill's 2 record signings in the 24-25 campaign, Mihailo Ivanovic and Kamil Negley. Those deals explained. 19-year-old striker Ivanovic joined Millwall Serbia club FK Vojvodina Novi Sad at the end of August 2024. At the start of the same month, they held a one-to-one meeting with the key people at Vojvodina during the TransferRoom deal day in Madrid, which brought together decision makers from over 200 clubs and some top agencies in one place for one day. So this is interesting. So the deal was done in Madrid. They were talking about the deal in Madrid because obviously Vojvodina and Ivanovic himself, he's tried to move to Italy, didn't he? Tried to go to Sampdoria, didn't go through. The people at the top of the club changed, and then they just forgot about him and sent him back on his way. So Vojvodina seems to have signed up to this thing. Gallen said, the deal began when we met Vojvodina at the deal day in Madrid. We speak to clubs at the event to find out information about players, to which we then bring back to see if the players match up to what we're looking at. We have a good scouting system here, with around 10 video scouts. We'll have some watching the Serbian league, someone watching Serie B, and someone watching the German second division. Everyone's assigned to their own leagues. The Vojvodina link starts there, and then we send them a message. Then they connect us with the agent. It's a great way of starting a process. There's always a long way to go in getting deals over the line, but having that starting point of TransferRoom is vital. It's a very good place to start because you could waste time, and I could find out about this player, think he's good, and go and watch him a few times and spend a lot of time and money before the club says he isn't for sale or he's too expensive. So it actually saves a lot of legwork early in the process. Ivanovic has quickly adapted to his first senior move outside of his native Serbia, registering 5 goals in his first 26 championship appearances and forming a key part of Mill's push for a top half place. Ivanovic brings great physical stature and has a lot of energy. He scored goals already for us for his first season in England, coming in from abroad at a young age. He's done really well. Negli, a 23-year-old Algerian right winger, beat Ivanovic's record fee at the end of January 2025 transfer window. He moved from Sparta Rotterdam. TransferRoom's online platform played a crucial role. He was recruited to fill the void left by Romain Esse, who became Mill's biggest ever transfer out 2 weeks previously. He was sold to Crystal Palace in the Premier League. TransferRoom helped with this deal even more so, Gallen said. When we sold Romain Esse for a record fee to Crystal Palace, we needed a player to come to help replace him, and rather than an out-and-out winger, we wanted someone to come inside off the flank and be a direct replacement for Romain. And Camille Negli is that player. We saw this lad doing well at Sparta Rotterdam. He's 23 years old and he's playing the position we're looking for. We dropped Sparta Rotterdam a message through TransferRoom. We then got various phone numbers to liaise with the club and the agent. TransferRoom was being an early part of the process helped. Why? Because the clubs demonstrated the players' availability to us for a certain price on TransferRoom, and we were able to connect them and get the deal done. Without that early connection, a deal would have been much harder to get done, especially before the deadline. Alex Neil right fit as head coach. So what's going on here then? Mill have been one of TransferRoom's most active clubs, but it's not just player recruitment that it's helped with. In December 2024, Mill will use TransferRoom's Coach Finder tool to help with the hiring of head coach Alex Neil. Coach Finder allows club decision makers access to in-depth statistics for a database of over 5,000 head coaches worldwide and access to the right trusted agent so they can find the right candidate for their squad and playing style and avoid costly mistakes. You can maintain a short list of suitable candidates and gain access to their trusted agent so you can act quickly whenever you need to recruit your head coach, which is obviously for clubs abroad that's more important because like in Italy, if you lose 3 games in a row, they fire the coach. Like they don't give a shit. You're out the door. It's the next guy in. Gallen used the tool to confirm that Neil was the right man for the head coach job and had high suitability for their first team squad and style of play when they were searching for a successor for the departing Neil Harris. Gallen said, TransferRoom helped us get head coach Alex Neil. The Coach Finder tool really helped us give us the confirmation we needed that he was the right man for the job. It did analysis on our squad and suitable playing style and helped support our decision. We were heading in the direction of Alex initially, but having the stats and data to back that up was incredibly helpful. So there you go, and then I think that was it. Yeah. So basically, it's a puff piece for TransferRoom, which Mill have agreed to do. I guess the more clubs that use TransferRoom, the more access Mill will have because they're part of the TransferRoom network, I guess. But it's just interesting to see what's happening behind the scenes there. This company that's like I said, it's like Tinder and Temu. Obviously, players want to, especially players abroad in developing countries, they want to come to more successful countries because they get more money, and stuff like that. So we wait to see who else are we going to sign now. So interesting about the video coaches. Is anyone looking at the Japanese league? Because I'm seeing Japanese players and I'm liking what I'm seeing. We saw the guy the other day, Ayo Tanaka, for Leeds, various, and not only that, but the Japanese players. It's the way they carry themselves as well. You know what I mean? They're not flashy. You know, I imagine there's no trouble. The trouble would be probably with the language barrier, but in terms of attitude and stuff like that, they are professionals in the full sense of the word. So, yeah. What are we doing now? We're moving on to this now. I mean, we're an hour in now. Wow, we still haven't spoken about the game tomorrow. This is from southernnews.co.uk, talking to Frankie Baker, absolutely outstanding player for the under-21s. I needed to make my mark. Millwalls forward Frankie Baker on his journey so far. Frankie Baker used to go to the Den with his Millman family. Now the Lions Academy forward trains and plays alongside the players he used to watch as a 10-year-old. Yeah, that's true. They've been there a long old time, haven't they? Like Murray Wallace, Jay Cooper, Saville, etc. They've been there a long time. He's hoping to become the next forward young Millwall fans model their game on. Baker, 19, has been in fine form recently, scoring 3 goals in his past 3 games for the under-21s, and had his talent recognised when he was included in the Lions first team squad for their FA Cup third round tie with Dagenham and Redbridge on January the 13th. Born in Dartford, Baker was first noted by Millwall at the under-9 level and was soon snapped up by his boyhood club. I was playing Sunday League, Baker said. I was playing in the C League or B League at the time, and I was playing for a local club called Parkwood Rangers. I was doing multiple tournaments from there. I got scouted by multiple different teams, but then Millwall was the one I chose to go to, and then I was lucky enough to get a deal at under-10s. Baker progressed through the academy, a process he admitted was challenging at times. It's very cutthroat, you know, obviously, like going into the next year. The level always gets higher, you know, it's a quicker tempo, you get less time on the ball, and I found it very hard sometimes to be able to do that, you know, but luckily enough, I've been able to stay and adapt to it throughout. He was deemed good enough to be handed a scholarship at the end of his time with the under-16s and moved up to the under-18s, where he was part of the side that lost 4-3 to Leeds United in the semi-finals of the FA Youth Cup in the 23-24 campaign. It was a great 2 years. I played really well. You know, we had a great FA Cup youth run, which I really enjoyed. But it was a bit unfortunate near the end with the injuries. You know, as a first year, I scored loads of goals, and second year, I scored loads of goals. So I was really happy with how I'd done in the 2 years. Baker played alongside Millwall's club records Sale, Romain Esse, who now plies his trade in the Premier League for Crystal Palace. He inspires you in a way because you know you're not that far off that. It shows it's possible to be done. If he can do it, then we can do it as well if we put the work in like he did. After 2 years in the under-18s, Baker signed his first professional deal in July 2024 and has spent the current campaign playing for Kevin Nugent and Paul Robinson's under-21 side, who are third in the Professional Development League South, just 3 points off the top. Baker praised his teammates for putting in great team performances, but was more measured in assessing his own contributions. At the start of the season, I was struggling with game time. When I was getting the game time, I didn't feel like I impacted the game enough, really. But I think as I've been starting games now, my confidence has grown, and that's why I feel like I'm scoring more and putting in much better performances than I was before. Baker has been helped in his development by the presence of experienced first-team players occasionally making a step down to the under-21s to build match fitness, with veterans like Murray Wallace, Sean Hutchin and Wes Harding all making multiple appearances for Nugent's side. It's good for all our players, you know, even in training they help train us better because they make the level harder. You get less time on the ball with them. Even in games, you know, it's a lot better playing with them. You know, for example, when I'm up front, I've got people with first team experience who've had 200 plus games in the championship who can help me, you know, and support me, who can communicate and talk in my ear like the old game basically, you know, which helps me a lot. Part of his improvement has also come from working with Nugent and Robinson. They're really good coaches, Baker said. You know, like they would sit us down, they wouldn't mess about and tell us what we need to do better. And then we'll have individual bits after training and they would be here to help us. So, for example, Nuge would help me with my hold up and my finishing, things like that. When asked what he needs to improve before taking the next step, Baker pointed to his ruthlessness in front of goal, and it's starting to bear fruit. He netted a brace in a 3-0 win against league leaders Brentford on February 25th before scoring a penalty as the Lions edged past Watford 4-2. Baker was pleased to get on the score sheet against the Bees. I was very, very happy because I felt like I needed to make my mark and score a couple of goals, and that was my first brace of the season. Baker said, "I've only scored 4 this season, so to get 2 in one game against the top of the league was really good, and to have them first team players and be one of the players who started was really good as well." When asked what's next for Frankie Baker, he said, "Oh, just more goals, and hopefully I can break into the first team and do well there." How should I put this? Obviously, I watch quite a bit of the under-21s, and probably I'll be watching quite a bit for the rest of the season, seeing as they've got something to play for and the first team hasn't. He's a very, how do I put this politely? He doesn't look like a lot when you look at him. You look at him and you think, that's a footballer. He's very small, but when you see him run, he's like a terrier. He just runs and runs and runs, and he puts himself about, which is weird for someone who's so small. He's grown over the 2 years. He has had a growth spurt. But you look at him and you think, like, what's he gonna do? I'll tell you what he does. He gets into it. He jumps up. He gets involved. He battles for the ball. So yeah. Can he make the first team? I'm not sure about that. In terms of his position, in terms of, we play one up front. If we're playing one up front, it's hard to see that if he's going to be the one up front. So I don't know if he can adapt how he plays, but I mean, man, maybe like I said, maybe now before the end of the season, bring him in and see what he can do. What have we got to lose? Nothing, because our season's already done. And talking of that, now we're going to talk about the game tomorrow. An hour into the video. Can you believe it? Why is this video so long? I don't know. Blame Crystal Palace. This is from the southernnews.co.uk. Millwall disappointed as injuries prevent him from resting certain players ahead of the Stoke City clash. Interesting. Who is he going to rest? Was it Tanganga? Because Tanganga's been a bit in the last couple of games, so could it be that? Alex Neil was disappointed to have to make early substitutions during Mill's 2-0 loss to Leeds United on Wednesday, and he said he had to put some players on the pitch that I really didn't want to. That's interesting. I'm sure they're really pleased to hear that. Ahead of the Lions clash with Stoke City tomorrow, their third game in 8 days. I think maybe, was he talking about Crammer? Did Crammer come on? Oh my God, I've forgotten already. I've forgotten what happened. Oh, Billy Mitchell. I think he was talking about Billy Mitchell because he rested Billy Mitchell. So he came back from injury. I mean, he didn't start in that game, did he? Mill travelled to Watford last Saturday and left Vicarage Road with a 2-1 win before falling to the Whites at Ellen Road in midweek. The Scotsman made 4 changes to starting 11 on Wednesday in a bid to keep players fresh. However, he was forced to replace George Honeyman with Billy Mitchell in the 28th minute after he went down with a groin injury, while Femi Aziz was withdrawn in the 79th minute after feeling his hamstring. The Lions have little time to recover before heading to home fixture against the Bots tomorrow. I freshened the team up today because obviously Saturday, was a big effort in the second half. Neil said after the game, "It's really hot on Saturday, at Watford, and that takes it out of the players. I thought we put a huge effort in coming up here in terms of quick turnover, and then we're not going to get back until probably 2-3 in the morning tonight, and then we've got to prep on Friday, and we're basically staying to another game. And that's why I was disappointed the lads went down because I had to put some players on the pitch that they didn't really want to tonight." Now, moving on to this. Opposition manager Mark Robbins. Stoke boss Mark Robbins expecting tough Millwall clash. Stoke City boss Mark Robbins is expecting a tough clash against Alex Neil's Millwall on Saturday. The Potters picked up an important 1-0 win over Blackburn on Tuesday night to move 4 points clear of the bottom 3. Lions boss Neil managed Stoke 66 times between August 2022 and December 2023. "We've got to recover well," said Robbins. "We've got a tough game against one of the former managers from here in Alex. He's just gone in at Millwall, and you know what to expect from his teams and his players that he has. It's a tough game for them at Leeds United. They all are. We've had a tough one here against Blackburn." So there you go. Now, from millfc.co.uk. Overseas match passes available in certain territories for the Stoke City fixtures. Reminder, if you didn't know, this is again another 12:30 kickoff. Hopefully it's the last 12:30 kickoff of the season, I would say, hopefully. Obviously the game is going to be shown on Sky. I don't think it's on Sky Sports Plus. I think it's on Sky Channel. But you can buy a Mill TV match pass around the world in these following countries: Belarus, Brunei, Christmas Islands, Dash, Estonia, Fiji, Guam, Kiribati, Liechtenstein, Malaysia, Mongolia, Norfolk Islands. I thought it was Norfolk Island. There's only one Norfolk Island. Pitcairn Islands, Republic of South Sudan, Socotra, South Tyrol, Tokelau, Wallis and Fortuna, and Western Samoa. More on this from livesoccertv.com. So you can buy a Mill match pass, or you could watch it on these channels where it's going to be shown. In the UK, it's on Sky Sports Main Event and it's on Sky Sports Football. It doesn't say that it's on Sky Sports Plus, so that's interesting. Let's ignore that. So if you are in any of these countries, this is the international coverage on television around the world. In Algeria, it's in beIN Sport. It's in Anguilla, it's on Disney Plus Caribbean. In Australia, it's on beIN Sports 3, etc., etc. Disney Plus Brazil. In Burundi, in DAZN Canada, etc., etc. Disney Plus Norte in Costa Rica. What else have we got? Viaplay Denmark, TV3 Max, Ethiopia, Faroe Islands, Finland. It's on V Sport 2 Finland. What else have we got? Greece. It's in Cosmo Spree. So I'll just scroll down. You can find your own country where you are. It's in Israel. Lesotho. Have they changed their flag? Lesotho. That looks unusual. And maybe they've changed their flag, or maybe they're using the wrong flag. Are you a vexillologist? No. It's in Niger. Nearly got cancelled then. Palestine. Where's that? I thought that was Israel. Controversial. Saint Martin. Senegal. Somalia. South Sudan. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Syria. Oh my God. Can you imagine? All the nut jobs in Syria taking a break from killing the Christians to watch Stoke versus Millwall. So there you go. That's the channels that it's on. Now, the Millwall message board from that game, millfc.co.uk. So here we go. Happy 50th birthday to Nicky Sullivan, aka Inner London Glass, with love from Claire, Elsie and Sid. And I think this is taken from the Sponsors Day, so it seems to be a sponsor. I assume so, in Inner London Glass. Maybe check them out. Welcome to the 58th Belfast company of the Boys Brigade, steadfast and sure. And it's with great sadness that we learn of the passing of Michael McClure, who passed away in May 2024 at the age of 78 after a short illness. Michael was a lifelong Mill supporter and a season ticket holder with his daughter Louise, and recently his granddaughter Mila. And Michael will be missed by his friends in Barry Kitchener Stand Block 3. Wow, that is sad. And there you go. And if you want to be featured in future home matches in the message board, you can email slo@millfc.co.uk. Now, the mascots for the game. Introducing Millwall Football Club's matchday mascots for Saturday Sky Bet Championship visit of Stoke City. First up, we've got Dylan Lawrence. He's the one in the middle. Saturday's Junior Lions mascot is 8-year-old Dylan Lawrence. It's Dylan's first season as a Mill season ticket holder in the Barry Kitchener Stand with all his family. Nice one. Dylan's hobby is football, and his favourite player is Mihailo Ivanovic. Next up is Teddy Marks. 9-year-old Teddy Marks is a dedicated goalkeeper, and his favourite Millwall player is Lucas Jensen. Next, we have George Marks. Any relation? George Marks, meanwhile, is 5 years old and loves football. His favourite player is Billy Mitchell. Cool. Next, we have Lucas Daly. Lucas is 9 years old, enjoys football and reading. His favourite Millwall players are Billy Mitchell, George Saville, and Aaron Connolly. Next, we have Cody Sells. 12-year-old Cody Sells is passionate about football and Millwall. Rahis Bangor Williams is his favourite lion. Yes, I agree. Demi Sells, again, any relation? 10 years old and she loves football and drawing. Her favourite player is Jafet Tanganga. Another good choice. Next we have Frankie Lyons. He's 11 years old. He enjoys playing football, pool, and going swimming. Ryan Leonard and Casper Denor are his favourite Millwall players. And next up we have Holly Poole. She's 4 years old and loves drawing, riding her bike and playing outdoors. Holly enjoys all kinds of sport and is excited to be a mascot this weekend. Her favourite player is Lucas Jensen, and she is predicting a big performance from the Lions against Stoke. No score though, but she thinks it's going to go well. Okay. Next we have Belle Van Dyke. She's 7. She loves playing goal as well as dancing and singing. Belle enjoys fishing and watching Millwall whenever she can. Her favourite player is Lucas Jensen. Cool. Next you have Freddie Roberts. 9-year-old Freddie Roberts loves football, especially playing in goal for Lewisham Youth Under 9s. His favourite Millwall players are Lucas Jensen and Liam Roberts, whilst he predicts a 2-1 win for the Lions this weekend. Next you have Jake Ruston, pictured there with Matty Sarkic. Ruston is 8 years old, but will be turning 9 next Tuesday. Well, happy birthday, Jake. A passionate footballer, Jake plays for Hastings United and loves watching Millwall. His favourite players are Mihailo Ivanovic, Femias is, and Rahis Bangor Williams, and he predicts a 1-0 win against Stoke City. We hope you all have a fantastic day. Indeed. So let's get on it, man. 1 hour and 11 minutes. And we've still got about 20 minutes to go. This is the historical record of matches between Millwall and Stoke City, sorted at the Den. This is from 11v11.com. We haven't played them that many times, in truth. Obviously, back in the day, they were a big team. You can see from 1936 to 1970, we didn't play them. In fact, those games were in the Cup. So, in the league, we didn't play them from 1932 to 1977. So, we missed each other in the league for 40 years. So, the first ever game, 1929 in March, we lost it 3-1. We won the next one, but then again, we lost 3-1. So, started off a bit of a mixed bag. But then we went on the run of runs, not losing until 1986. Again, not a lot of games. A 1-0 win, 2 0-0 draws, a 2-1 win, a 0-0 draw, a 3-0 win, 2-2 draw, and then a 3-2 defeat. So far, we've lost 3 times to Stoke, and each time they've scored 3 goals. That's kind of weird. And then we go on again an unbeaten run until we get to 1996, and we lost 3-2. So the first 4 defeats at home to Stoke, we've conceded 3 goals in all 3 games that we've lost. Very weird at all. That's kind of weird. And then in the late 90s, obviously they've dropped down into the division that we were in. What do they call it? League One, but yeah. And we're beating them, we're doing well. 2004 draw, 1-1. And then 2 defeats. 2005, February and August, 1-0 defeats. And that was the last time we lost at home to Stoke City. August 2005. A 1-0 defeat. Since then, 0-0 draw, 2-0 win, 0-0 draw, 2-1 win, 2-0 win, 1-0 win. So, you know what that means. We haven't lost at home to Stoke in, 6 games? That is a run. That's what's called a run. And what happens to the runs? They have to end. And this is the kind of thing that we know this is going to happen. We're probably going to lose tomorrow now. Because they need it more. They're fighting relegation, we ain't. So, would not surprise me. So this is from whoscored.com. If you look in the middle, we can see the last 6 games. As mentioned, 4 wins for us, 2 draws, 0 wins for them. They've only scored 1 goal. Wow, what the hell? They've scored 1 goal in 6 games at the Den. Damn. We scored 7. So again, living up to our thing of just over 1 goal a game. 7 yellow cards to their 11. This is how the table stands at the moment. We're 13th, not really going anywhere, not doing anything. With a -3 goal difference, they are 19th. If we expand that and have a look, here you can see they are 4 points off the relegation places. Derby have won their last 2 games, which is not a mean feat in the Championship because they are only the second club to do that, as in won their last 2 games. Sheffield Wednesday won their last 2 games. Derby won their last 2 games. Everyone else has not done that. In a team of 24 teams, only 2 teams have won 2 games in a row, and are currently on the 2-game win streak. Insane. This league is insane. It is an insane league. So yeah, they're only 9 points behind us, and 4 points above the relegation places. They've actually scored more goals than us. They've scored 37 goals, so they have a better attack than us. But their defence, conceded 50. Again, the home form under Alex Neil, not the best, is it? We struggle to break teams down. So again, that's ominous. So let's have a look at the home form. Millwall's home team are 20th. So again, one of the worst home teams in the division. If we look at the full table. Wow. So let's, So at home, we've won 7, we've drawn 4, we lost 7, we've scored 19 goals, which is just over 1 per game because there's 18 games, and we've conceded 17. So that is not the best at all. Which, considering recently our home form, pretty good, and all of a sudden it's gone off a cliff. Yeah, that's not good. Our Stoke's away from. Oh, okay. Well, luckily Stoke are dog shit away from home, so there you go. They've won 3, drawn 4, lost 11. They've only scored 14 away goals all season in 18 games. They've conceded 29, so we might get away with this one because they're really bad. They've only won 3 away games all season, but one of them was 4 games ago against Hull City. Since that game, they have, what have they done? They lost 2-0 to Bristol City, which we did at home as well. They lost 4-2 away at Norwich, and they lost at Coventry. So again, they lost to teams that are battling for the playoffs. We were battling for the playoffs, now we're not. Is that going to be the same situation? So if we sort this by home and away, it didn't work. Let's click it again. There you go. So Mill's lost 6 home games. Stoke's lost 6 away games. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What am I looking at? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. In Stoke's last 2 away games, they've scored 2 goals. 2 goals against Coventry, 2 goals against Norwich. Now they lost. It seemed to be they were having a bit of a go. Now maybe that's good. Maybe that if they don't sit back and they actually play football, maybe we can have a go at them and get in behind them and score some goals. So it suggests that they're trying to do something. But I mean, man, they scored 2 at Coventry, 2 at Norwich. They scored 2 at Hull. They haven't kept a clean sheet, so it does seem they don't try to keep clean sheets, or they can't keep a clean sheet. They failed to score against Bristol City. That's the only game in the last 6 away games that they failed to score in. Okay. So they can score goals. It's just they can't. Maybe they got a rubbish goalkeeper. Who's their goalkeeper? Now, Mill's last 6 home games, we've got 1 clean sheet, and that was against Dagenham and Redbridge, a non-league team. When was the last clean sheet we had at home in the league? Failed to score against Hull, which obviously lost that game. Failed to score against Bristol City. And we won against Queen's Park Rangers 2-1. And that was the last win at home in the league. Yeah. Okay. Strengths and weaknesses. Wow, they got a lot of weaknesses, huh? Stopping opponents from creating chances. That seems to suggest that defending against skillful players. So I would suggest Aaron Connolly, Bangor Williams. So it would be interesting to see the team that gets put out by Alex Neil. Match forecast. Okay. Match facts on the top right. Mill have seen under 2.5 goals scored in the last 6 matches against Stoke in all competitions. Mill have kept a clean sheet in 5 of the last 6 home matches against Stoke in all competitions. Mill have won their last 3 home matches against Stoke in all competitions. So again, that's very worrying in terms of the result. So let's get a prediction then. 1 hour 20. That's a lot of injuries there. Prediction. Mill found themselves training against arch rivals. Boo! Leeds after just 3 minutes in midweek after Jake Cooper own goal. And went on to lose 2-0 at Elland Road. Alex Neil's men have won just 2 of the last 10 matches at the Den. Championship matches at the Den. And have nothing left to play for ahead of Stoke's visit on Saturday. Ali Al-Hamadi's goal was the difference maker on Wednesday night as Stoke beat playoff contenders Blackburn 1-0 at the Bet365 Stadium. Obviously, that was the home game. That victory was a crucial one in the relegation battle after all 3 sides in the drop zone secured wins in midweek. The Potters are now 4 points clear of the bottom 3 with 9 games remaining. Oh yeah, they've got that Johansson, haven't they? So how are they conceding so goals? Their best player is the goalkeeper. He's the most highly rated player. That Johansson who was at Rotherham. They signed him. So how are they conceding so many goals? Damn. Wow, that's insane. But they predict Mill 0, Stoke 1. We'll see about that. Now, because we are now, nearly coming up to 1 hour and 25 minutes, just going to have to skip to the prediction at the end of the video. They say Millwall 2, Stoke City 2. Neither side are in the strongest form at the moment, but Stoke are more on the line this weekend, so expect them to be motivated to put in a strong performance. That being said, the visitor will struggle on the road this term and are unlikely to pick up all 3 points, but given that they've scored 4 goals in the last 2 away matches, they could take a point at the Den on Saturday. I'm going to go for an old classic. I think we're going to lose by 3 goals. Not 3-0. I've just having seen the historical record that the first 4 defeats were against Stoke scored 3 against us and that they can score goals. It's an early kickoff. Probably 3-2. I don't know. That's a lot for an early kickoff. Early kickoff's normally a bit bit sus. Unless something happens that someone gets sent off. Maybe the goalkeeper. Like I said, I thought he was going to get sent off against Leeds, but maybe it's going to happen tomorrow. Because you always imagine, like, sod's law, what's the worst thing that can happen, you know? We've got 2 good goalkeepers. One of them's already been suspended. So the other one, like, the worst thing that could happen is the other one gets suspended. But I want to see, like, we can't score for shit. We need to do something about that. We need to try something out with its players or rating or formations or something. We need to do something to try and score more goals. You know, and the weight's been lifted off. We don't have to win now. You know, just put on a show. Make a show. Make a show. Just go for it. Do tricks and flicks and shoot, score goals. Go nuts. Doesn't matter. The season's cooked. It's roasted. It's been finished. So yeah, just do fucking something to get the crowd off their feet. So we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I'm gonna say, I don't know. It's 2-1. I don't know. No, if we concede 3 goals, it's gonna be really bad. Maybe not 3 goals. Maybe it's gonna be Millwall 1, Stoke 2. So yeah, Millwall 1, Stoke 2. Yeah, that's my prediction. And on that note, after 1 hour and 25 minutes, how long is this video? Wow, thank you for watching. If you're still here at the end, thank you so much, and goodbye.